Hello everyone, welcome. We're looking at the Quizizz assignment together next, and we're going to be solving equations and either finding that one solution or identifying if there is no solution or infinite solutions. So here's our first problem or first equation. We have 10 plus 1/3 times y is equal to 1. So the first thing we're going to want to do here is subtract 10 from both sides. Since this is a positive 10, we subtract it, doing that opposite operation. And we have 1/3 times y equals 1 minus 10 is a -9. So I'm just going to write this up here on the left. 1/3 times y. This can be a little tricky when we see fractions. Know that when you multiply by 1/3, that's just the same thing as taking a third of something or cutting it into 3 pieces, dividing by 3. So you can always rewrite fractions so that it looks like this, so it can be a bit easier to understand what operation to do next. So next we're going to multiply both sides by 3, and that 3 in the denominator will cancel with the 3 that we're multiplying by, and we get y equals a -27 for our first answer. So go ahead and plug that in, and we'll look at the next one together. There are 16 questions, I believe, in this altogether, so we'll see how far we get. We have -0.4w equals 4.2. Remember, if you want to with decimals, you can multiply everything here by 10. If you want to just get rid of the decimals altogether, this would get us a -4w equals 42. Sometimes that just looks better to people's brains. You don't have to do it that way. You could have just from the start divided by that -0.4, but now we're just dividing by -4, and we get w equals -10.5. So that's 42 divided by -4, which would also be 44.2 divided by a -0.4. So we're selecting our answer, of -10.5. Nice job, y'all. Number 3, we have a little whiteboard so you can practice writing it on your own. So we have a -5 minus a 3n equals a 7n. So the first thing we're going to do is get rid of that -5. So, actually, we're not going to do that because where's my eraser tool? What we're going to do actually is move that -3n to the other side. Okay, I'm going to start it over. It wouldn't let me erase that one thing for some reason. We want to get our n's together. So we want to move this 3n, this -3n to the other side by doing our opposite operation and adding 3n to both sides. Then we have -5 equals 7n plus 3n. 7 plus 3 gets us 10n in total. And then 10 times n. So we're going to do our opposite operation and divide both sides by 10. And we get n equals -5 over 10, which we can simplify to a -1/2 as our final solution. So make sure you're practicing writing out the steps and going through these problems on the whiteboard or on paper for the other problems, and hit submit in the bottom right corner when your whiteboard is all set. The next one says solve this equation 4/7 times a equals 16. So again, fractions can be tricky. There's a couple ways we could solve a problem like this. this 4 is on top. It's being multiplied by the a, and then we're dividing by the 7. So notice how I just put the a next to the 4. That helps my brain see that, okay, we have some multiplication and we have some division. So I would do it this way, and first I would multiply by 7, doing the opposite of that divided by 7, and I would get 4a equals, let's see, what is 16 times 7? 112. And then I would divide both sides by 4, and we have 112 divided by 4 gets us 28. Okay. You could also, just to show you a second method, if you had 4/7 a equals 16, you could also multiply by the reciprocal, which is 7/4. And this is essentially what we did the first way, right? We multiplied by 7 and then we divided by 4, but this is just doing it in one quick step. When this happens, the 7's cancel, the 4's cancel because they're on opposite sides of the division bar. And then we have a equals 16 times 7 is 112, divided by 4 gets us 28. So that's another way we can think of fractions. I like doing it the first way and just seeing that I have some multiplication and then division. Okay, I'm going to clear this board, select my answer, and we'll take a look at the next one. Question 5. What value of x makes this equation true? So we have 4x minus 2 equals 22 minus 8x. So notice we have our left side of the equation and then our right side of the equation. And there's some x's on the left and some x's on the right. And then there's some constants, or just numbers, on the left and numbers on the right. So we want to get our x's together and then our numbers together. So we can start by adding this 2 to the other side, because it's a -2, so we add it, and we get 4x, -2 plus 2 will cancel to 0, equals 22 plus 2 is 24, minus an 8x. Now we want to move that minus 8x to the other side, so we're going to do our inverse operation and add 8x to the other side. -8x plus 8x cancel. 4x plus 8x gets us 12x equals 24. And then our final step will be to divide by 12. And we end up with x equals 2. So we can just type in 2 into our answer box. 2. There we go. And hit submit. Remember, if you need to pause the video at any point or rewind, you always have that opportunity, so please use those tools. 1/2 times x minus 5 equals a -3. So we're going to get rid of that minus 5 first. So we will do the opposite and add 5 to both sides. X equals our -5 plus 5 canceled. -3 plus 5 gets us a +2. And again, 1/2, if you're taking half of something, all you're doing is dividing it by 2. So notice how I'm rewriting the equation. If that helps your brain, you can always do that. Half of something is just dividing it by 2. So then we'll just multiply. These will cancel, and we're left with x equals 4. So you'll plug in 4, type your answer in there, and hit submit. Question 7. We have a 49 plus 4m equals 4m plus 14. So notice right? We have the same slope, a 4m and a 4m. So when those cancel out on both sides, we're left with 49 equals 14, which is certainly false. So this is an example of no solution. When we have the same slope, different intercept, right? That's going to be no solution. Parallel lines. So you can select no solution. And we'll move ahead to question number 8. Question 8 has our little whiteboard again, so we can practice working through this problem on the whiteboard. So we have 5n minus 12 equals a negative 3n plus 4. So notice we have some n's on the left side of the equation and some n's on the right side of the equation. So we are going to add 3n to both sides. We could have subtracted 5n and done it that way. That would totally work. It's better to deal with positives because 5n plus 3n gets us that positive 8n. Minus 12 equals negative 3n plus 3n cancel, so then we're just left with a 4 on the right side. Let's move that negative 12 by adding 12 to both sides. Then we have an 8n. Negative 12 plus 12, boom, cancel right out, equals 4 plus 12 gets us 16. Then we will divide both sides by 8 to get our final answer of n equals 16 divided by 8 gets us 2. So we plug in a 2 on our whiteboard and hit submit when you're ready. So we're about halfway through on question 9 right now. 8 times the quantity of 2 plus 3c equals 16 plus 24c. So we want to distribute that 8 to see what our slope and intercept look like and to start solving. 8 times 2 gets us 16 plus 8 times 3c is a 24c. So notice on both sides we have 16 plus 24c. So these actually have the same slope and the same y-intercept. So this is an example of infinitely many solutions. Infinitely many here for this one. And question 10, probably the last one we'll look at on this video before part 2. We have 3x minus 7 equals 2x plus 5. Sure. We have an x on the left, we have a 3x on the left, we have a 2x on the right. We want to get those x's together, and we also want to get our constants together. So first I'll move this negative 7 by adding 7 to both sides. There's many different ways to start this problem. You could start by subtracting 5, by subtracting 3x, by subtracting 2x. There's a few different combinations. I just chose to move the 7 first. So by adding, because it is a negative 7, that will cancel out. And then we get 3x equals 2x plus 12. And now I'm going to subtract my 2x from both sides, so my x's are on the same side together. 3x minus 2x is 1x. Those will cancel, equals 12. So there's our answer. So I will make a part 2 for the last 6 questions of the quizzes. So go ahead and click that part 2 video when you're ready to continue working through this assignment. Really great work, everyone. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I'll fix that in the second video. We'll go back and look at question 10 again. I'm not sure what happened there. So stay tuned.